Hi there, I'm Ananya Michelle, the creator and founder of the Pleiadian Healing Center, and I have been on the craziest, uh, just reality shifting journey over the last 72 hours. So that's why I'm filming from the comfort of my bed. So stay tuned to find out all about it. Hey guys, I hope you're well. I have been on the craziest journey over the last 72 hours. I'm really not so well at the moment, which is why I'm in my bed. That's part of what I've been through. Where to begin? This vaccine, man. Yeah, so, okay, I'm going to rewind a bit. So, I started my period about a week ago, just over a week ago. It happened on the day I was expecting it to. Everything seemed to be fairly normal. However, on the first couple of days, I had really, really severe cramping, like unbelievably painful cramping. It's probably the worst cramping I've ever experienced, and it was everywhere. It was like in my womb. It was even affecting my gut. It was in my lower back. It was just like really painful, and I didn't really know why. I did think this is a bit unusual, but I kind of didn't think too much of it. So then I started my period, and it was really, really heavy, and I was a bit like, oh God, this is quite quite a lot to be dealing with. Yeah, I mean, I have issues with heavy periods anyway, so it's not that much of a surprise to me, but I was like, God, I'm having a really bad one, like on the scale of how it normally is. Um, and so when I get my period, there's like a rhythm like within my period as well. So I usually have like 2 days of like fairly heavy flow, and then a day of like 12 hours or so where it stops. Don't know why, but it's always been the way. And then it starts again, but it's like a lot lighter for like another 2 to 3 days. Um, so then I reached like the point in the middle where I have a break, and I thought, thank God that's over with. Like, the second half is always a lot lighter, and it will be a lot easier to deal with. Still cramping quite heavily. Um, okay, so then so this is weird. I'm kind of like, there's two key things that I want to talk about here. So I'm kind of like telling things chronologically. So like the two different stories that like weave together are kind of like overlay with each other. So I think it was in this midpoint of my period when I noticed that Allison Coe had released a video, and I used to love watching her videos. Oh my God, they just tapped me into like such a higher potential for like where we are and our path and everything. And so I was like really excited to see that she had put up a video. So I watched it almost straight away. Make sure my mic's all right there. And I watched it in increments. Actually, it was almost like too much for me to digest all in one go. So Allison Coe does QHHT sessions with people, which is quantum hypnosis something. Quantum, yeah, I'm not sure exactly what it stands for, but it's like some kind of like hypnosis technique where she takes people into a trance, and they go on a journey, and they see themselves in either some other life that they're taken to, or they see kind of like into the future on planet Earth. And she kind of, working with these different clients, she collects kind of like almost like gathers information from like the different experiences that they have, and kind of is able to build pictures through that, because quite often there will be like very, very strong correlations between the different accounts that people share, which is, I think, is like really, really interesting. So it's like if people are tapping into like a common future, it's like I want to hear about that. I want to know what like where are we headed? Where is this madness going? And especially when it's tapping into like the higher possibilities, I'm like I find that really exciting. So in this particular video, I recommend watching it. Probably if you haven't seen it already, maybe pause this video and go and watch that first, because I don't want to kind of like spoil it for you, because it won't be the same hearing it from me as it is from her. So I'll put a link to her video below here. But yeah, so this client where she shared the transcript of the video, the transcript of the session in this video, he was basically describing the sequence of events that is going to happen over the next year or so. So timescales are always a bit iffy. Like people get different timescales, and then like I thought, well, this is kind of going into it now, really, isn't it? So I believed many years ago that there would be some kind of like big solar flash event type thing that was just going to like blast through all of the crap and the darkness on this planet and reinstate the light, and kind of like all the distorted matrices and systems, and I'm going to say viruses, not even specifically referring to what's around at the moment, but it's that kind of thing where like things have gone weird and rogue and it's not in alignment with the light, where all of that would just be cleared. And I was so convinced that it was going to happen. Sure, I'm going to cry during this video. I was so convinced that it was going to happen, and like I would feel the intensification of the energies coming in. I would feel the intensification of the solar energies, and every time there was like a higher wave coming in, I'd be like, oh my god, this is it, it's going to happen now. And then like it didn't, and then it's been years. It's been years now, truly, since I believed that this was going to happen. And like personally, we went through something really difficult last year, and I think that it's just got so hard that I kind of like given up hope. It's like I really believed that that was going to happen, and then it hasn't, and it's years and years, and it's like, okay, I can't keep hoping. I can't. I have to find a way to accept that like maybe I was wrong, maybe I haven't like tapped into it right, and like redirect my focus and find a way to live my life. And so that's what I've been doing, and I've been focusing on like building my website and creating this Ascension portal, which will be like a core Ascension course, and then just focusing on Ascension instead, and being like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen, I don't know how it's going to come about, but I know that I'm here for Ascension, so I will do what I need to do to focus on my own Ascension and to assist others through that, basically. And that's what my focus has been. So in this video that Allison Coe shared, it was about how it was basically a sequence of events that leads up to a solar flash. And she talked about it like so candidly. And she said something like over 90% of her clients talk about there being a solar flash that's going to happen. David Wilcock has been releasing material on it again. You know, a lot of ancient cultures prophesied that there would be a solar flash. And rather than it being this rolling thing that goes on for like 10 years, it's like it is a flash. It's an instant. It's like a blast of light, you know? And I always believed that so strongly. It's like there's so much there to suggest that it's happening. Do you know, I found out through the David Wilcock videos that like, I think it was like 3 days after the 21st of December 2012 when we really believed it was going to happen. Jesus, that was like 9 years ago. No wonder we're struggling. Oh my god. Yeah, so 3 days after that, our closest star had a solar flash, like as in the closest one beyond our sun. Like, how crazy is that? So it's almost like, and we're tapped into the whole cosmos, you know, so we can feel something. And as well as that, all of the planets in our solar system are experiencing global warming and kind of like discrepancies. And the sun is going crazy. Like 2 days ago, there were like, it was something like 2 class M and 10 class X solar flashes, solar flares, or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but like the space weather has been really crazy. And that's all going to be like hitting the planet. Like, I think there are flares hitting the planet by tomorrow, which is the solar eclipse. And there's various planetary stuff going on as well. So anyway, there's a lot going on. So I watched this video, and basically like the messages that this guy got for himself just spoke so deeply to my heart. It literally felt like he was talking to me, and she was talking about how like his soul is struggling because he didn't fit in here, and he's like, it's been really hard for him to like keep basically like holding the light. And yeah, she just talked about the sequence of events that's going to happen, that's going to lead up to a singular solar flash. And so watching this video, like, it just gave me permission. I just looked at the recording at 11:11. It like gave me permission to feel that again and to believe, because I've just been really like lost in many ways, I think. I think that in putting aside like my faith and my belief that there's going to be this solar flash, and making do with like the situation here as it is now. Don't get me wrong, like I have beautiful things in my life. I've got a wonderful partner and a really gorgeous son, and I like absolutely adore them. And so like, you know, an amazing like soul friends and community around. So like those connections are incredible and wonderful, and they bring like so much richness to my life. But there's been this like, I think in giving up hope and faith, there's been this like this kind of like lostness that I've been feeling, um because it was too hard just to keep believing and keep slogging on. I and easier in some ways to go like, you know what, I just can't keep hoping. Like if it takes another 10 to 15 years and I'm still working on the basis that I believe that there's going to be some solar flash at some point, like that's I just can't keep doing that basically. And there's been so many times where I thought something major was going to happen. Like I thought mass arrests were going to happen at the time of the inauguration in January. And every time it hasn't happened when I thought it would. That's like, I at that point, I'd gone so far beyond actually hoping that we were going to see some kind of like radical change for the positive. And that was like one time where I let myself get caught up in the hype again. And then I just fell flat on my face again. And it's like, oh God, I'm here again. Why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep having so much faith that like something positive is going to come out of this? Anyway, so watching that video, it connected to me back to what I know is the truth. And in my heart, I know that it's going to happen. I know that there is going to be some kind of solar flash. And more than that, I feel so strongly that that is why I'm here on the planet at this time. Like, I just know it. And for people who like don't like aren't familiar with this stuff, or like it doesn't resonate with them, that's completely fine. You know, like we live in different realities and there's different like ways of perceiving reality. But in my heart, I know that that's why I'm here. And it's not that I'm not like, I'm doing a lot of good. I'm helping bring that change about in my own way, like every day. But like, it's really hard when like you know that there's a reason you're here and you're waiting in your life for the time to be right on the planet, especially when it runs into like decades. It's like I'm 36 now. From an external point of view, I should have achieved like X, Y, and Z. And you know, I don't believe into all that crap anyway, buy into all that crap anyway, but I've been putting this pressure on myself to like really get going with my career. And it's like it always feels like such hard work. And I realized it's like, it's because I'm here for the solar flash. I'm here to rebuild the new earth. And the time hasn't come yet. And so I'm trying to make something work in a world that is like just so alien to me. I'm trying to break this world apart and create something new, you know? That's why I'm here. So like trying to build roots and a structure in that environment when it's like it's falling apart, it just feels like it just doesn't feel right, really. um it's really difficult. It's really difficult to figure out the balance, and so it's like you keep plodding along and doing stuff even though like your heart's not fully in it. Where my heart fully is actually is in like the tiny actions. So like the little ceremonies that I'm doing here, the light work that I'm doing behind the scenes, like those quiet goddess footsteps that I take in my daily life. That is like where I feel like I'm contributing the most. So yeah, so basically I watched that video and it just cracked me wide open. I like cried and cried and cried until I was almost like hyperventilating. I was crying for like hours. It got to the point where I just had to shut the crying down so I could get some sleep. And then I couldn't get to sleep because I've been crying so hard that I had like a stabbing pain like in my head behind my eyes. And then I woke up in the morning and the stabbing pain was still there. And I got up and hung out with my son for a few hours. And then I was like, I need to cry some more. So he started hanging out with his dad instead. And I just kept on crying. I'm sweating tons as I record this, by the way. I'm sure you really want to know that. Very deep transformation going on right now. And so basically the way it happened for me was like I was grieving the loss of the part of myself that believed that, like that I was grieving the fact that it's got so hard that I I've lost like the wonder and the enchantment and like the excitement that this is why I'm here. This is why I'm here, you know. And it just allowed me to like really feel into that again. And it's like in a day, my whole reality just pivoted and it was like laser focus. So once I kind of like got all the kind of like grieving and crying out of my system, it was like, okay, I've had goals on the surface, like I want to achieve this by this, and it's all related to kind of like, you know, building an online course and you know, making money and those things that are important, but it's not why I'm here, you know. Um, and then it's like when I reconnected with that energy and that knowingness that this day is coming and it's why I'm here. I've had dreams about this for years. I've literally dreamt of the solar flash energy coming in, like, and it's been so vivid. And afterwards, I've got like a blueprint now of what is going to happen on the day through my dreams. It's like, I know this is why I'm here. It's like, how many people can say that? The people who know they're going to be here for it can say it because that it's the training. It's like, it's encoding into you, like it's preparation, you know? So yeah, my whole reality shifted, and instead of kind of like these goals within this matrix and this kind of like, oh, I'm going to try and be positive, I'm going to try not to focus too much on all the terrible things that are happening in the world because I'm drowning in it. It was like, there is going to be a solar flash. I know it's why I've incarnated. I know that it is going to happen within the next few years. Actually, I don't know that. I'm praying it is, but I believe it is. And it's like suddenly it's like I've just attached onto it again. It's like, that is my focus. That is why I'm here. And everything in my life now is like falling back into alignment with that. So it's like recalibrated me. So it's like, okay, detoxing the heavy metals, building my body physically to be stronger because I feel quite weak at the moment. That's another story I'm about to go into in a minute. Yeah, like diet, health. It can be really simple things. So, for example, like we've been buying most of our organic vegetables from Sainsbury's, from like one of the big supermarkets here. And energetically, it's like, nah. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just not got that kind of like vibrant life force energy. And so I've been guided to start getting a veg box again from an organic place that's literally like just up the road from us. And it was like, it's not even that it needs to form the bulk of my diet. I just got that like weekly, I need something that has been absorbing the sunshine that's like locally grown, because it will nourish that ingestion of the sun within me. It will nourish like my ability to digest the light codes from the sun as it comes in, all that kind of stuff, you know. So it's like really following that guidance around how to prepare for that solar flash, if that is your mission. And for some people watching this, like you will probably be like, oh my God, me too. This is exactly why I'm here. Or you may not be. It may feel like it's like a part of your path, but not like the main thing. Um, in which case that's fine. But like listen to your soul's calling. What is your main thing? And what do you need to do to prepare for that, you know? Okay, so that's like the first part of this like freaking radical eclipse reality shifting trip that I'm on at the moment. So that was a few days ago. Okay, so going back to my period. So I have this usually 2 heavy days, day off, and then it starts again and it's quite light. So it started again and I was cramping really badly. And then it was really heavy and I was just like, Jesus, it's not usually like this. This is not how it works for me. Like, this is different to how my period normally is. And it just kept going and it didn't ease off and it kept going. And then going to go into some details here, which, like, if you're squeamish about this kind of stuff, I'm giving you a heads up. Hopefully we're all mature enough to talk about periods openly now, but you know, it's kind of like, it is actually kind of gross as well. So um, the thing that I'm about to share, so talking about blood clots. So in the space of 12 hours, I had 3 blood clots that were like the size of a ping pong ball. I was just like, what is happening? Like, I felt them as they came out and I was like, oh God, I need to go to the toilet. What is that? And I was just like, oh my God, what is this? I do usually have some clotting because like I have issues with my periods anyway, but nothing like that. That was next level. So it was a few nights ago and it was Sunday night actually. And it got to the point I was getting so weak. I was like, my breathing was like, I was like really out of breath. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't actually even focus on hearing my partner talk because I just like felt like I was gonna just like I just felt like I was gonna faint the whole time. And the most horrible thing is when you're like that and you've lost that much blood, even when you're lying down and you're sleepy, it's like you can't quite like drift off to sleep because you're so anemic that it's like, I don't know, it's weird. It's almost like jittery as well. And like it almost felt like my heart was working really hard. And I thought, right, if this goes through into the morning, I'm going to have to call an ambulance because I've lost so much blood. I literally am at that point where I was like scared of having a heart attack. I was like, I'm going to have to get some kind of transfusion or something. I was really freaking out actually. And it was so painful. And and so I use a menstrual cup and I had to get up in the night to change it, which I've only ever had to do on like the first night of my period when it's really heavy. I have to change it in the night, but never past that point. And and this was day 6 of my period and I was having to get up in the night and change and I was just like, fuck, this is really not right. So thank God by like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning it had eased off. Um and I was okay, but I basically it's Tuesday now. I've been in bed yesterday and today. My partner's done the school run because I can't stand up for very long. Um, oh my God, it's just awful. So I've been going through a real process with this. I got really fearful. Like, firstly, I always get scared if I have a really heavy period. It just freaks me out. I feel so weak. I feel like I can't do what needs to be done. I can't cook. I can't stand up for very long. I can't look after my son. I have to depend on other people, who usually like depend on me. So it's like it's a real struggle to like let go and like be okay with that. But on top of that, the vaccine. So I haven't been vaccinated. I have no intention of being vaccinated, but I have heard lots of horror stories about women who are having really, really awful periods who also haven't been vaccinated, but just by being around people who have been vaccinated. But I believed that I was going to be immune to that. I thought that's not going to happen to me. I'm in alignment with the divine. I've done a lot of work on myself. I believe that I'm above those kind of effects. So for this period to be the worst one that I've ever had in 24 years of menstruating, and for it to coincide with all the accounts that are coming out right now of women who are experiencing the same. And I was just like, oh my God, is this because of the vaccine? Is this because of shedding? And it really scared me because I was like, if this is like, there's things that we can do to protect ourselves, right? We can work with energies. We can make sure we're getting the right diet. We can avoid going to certain places where, like, if there's people, I don't know if the shedding thing is like real, if it can happen with these vaccines. I don't know, but that's the problem, isn't it? We don't know. We don't know yet because the studies haven't been done on it. Anyway, so I really freaked out. I've actually, yeah, I'm not going to talk about that side of it. But yeah, I was like, I've just been into this thing of like, how do I deal with this really? Like, what can I do? I felt I've kind of like bounced around from feeling like really, really, really angry, like really fucking angry that this is happening to my body. And it's like, I do not consent to this shit. I do not consent to this. So why is it happening to me, Feeling like a victim. And then also knowing that somehow there's going to be a way to override this. Like I haven't felt that so much because of the space I've been in, but nature always comes up with an answer. And also I understand metaphysics, so I know that we have the power to override these kinds of things. No shit they put out there is going to be stronger than the light of the divine. That is just truth. Okay, so we just got to find the way to harness the light of the divine and God, or whatever you want to call it, to like override this. I feel like the camera's like slowly sliding over. Maybe it's not. Got it very carefully balanced. Okay. So what was I saying? So yeah, with the victimhood. So another side of it for me that's really difficult is that it's very tied in with my child sexual abuse that I experienced. So if it is from shedding, then something is happening to me and to my body that I have not given consent to, that is painful and is causing me a lot of issues, and it feels really invasive. It feels like mega invasive, and that triggers very much the feelings that I experienced being sexually abused as a child. And not only that, but it's my womb as well. And that is like my sacred chalice. And that is like, where I was abused basically before. That's like where the energy collects, isn't it? When you've been sexually abused. So, and also probably that might even be tied in with where I was bleeding heavily, because it's like a very similar energy, and it's all linked together. So it's just been really hard and really painful. I've been crying a lot and just like thinking like, I don't know how to be positive anymore. I don't know how to be okay with this situation. So what I've been doing, I've been going into different groups on Facebook and chatting to different friends and talking about it and just trying to like get different people's perspectives and to feed back into my perspective to figure out how I feel about it and how to move forward. And it's been really interesting doing that actually. So it's kind of like different sides of a diamond helping me form my own picture. And so I had a bath earlier today, And a dear friend of mine, James, had left me a message, and it's really funny actually, isn't it? Like, my partner Tim has been amazing, giving me like the most amazing wisdom around this situation. But don't you find, or maybe you don't find this, but like sometimes when you hear stuff from your partner, it's almost like it doesn't what's the word? You don't fully receive it, you don't fully hear the message because it's coming from your partner. And I know that he's done the same with me sometimes, where I've been like, just do this, just do this. And he's like, yeah. And then like a couple of days later, it's like, oh my God, I just spoke to so and so, or I just had this revelation that I should do this. And it's like, yeah, I did say that. Anyway, I've been doing that with him basically. He's been telling me, like, just do this, just do this. And it's like, I'm really struggling to like fully. I know his advice is really good. I've been struggling to fully take it on, but I think that's partly because I've been processing the negative stuff still. Anyway, my friend James left me a message, and I was listening to it, and then I was like processing, and then just something clicked in me. And I had this huge revelation around my womb and the bleeding and what's going on. So basically, like, there's this wonderful group that I'm part of on Facebook, full of the most lovely light beings who feel a connection to the Cathars. And the leader of that group, or the lady who set it up, Ashtara Rose, who I've become friends with, she's just so lovely. She's been talking about how she experiences changes in her menstrual cycles when she's doing energy work, and we're going through a big like birthing of reality at the moment. So women are going to be experiencing changes in their menstrual cycles, and that's like part of that. And it's weird, isn't it, with this reality, because it's like things can have multiple meanings at the moment. As the veil's thinning, it's like the positive and the negative are one and the same. So it's like, yes, it probably is caused by shedding, but yes, I'm also birthing the new earth. So it's like it can be both at the same time. So the revelation that I had is that I've never really been that connected to my womb. And I think that's partly why I've struggled with things like heavy periods and stuff anyway. I've had a lot of anger. I think I've never really dealt energetically fully to a deep level in my womb with the fact that I was sexually abused as a child. So I've done a lot of energy work and healing in general. But for me, I really like to keep it up here. And I really struggle with like my body and what's going on in my body and the messages my body are giving me. Um, Back when I had my first flashback to being sexually abused, it's actually on my YouTube channel. So the day before, I decided to make a series of videos because I was so frustrated with my inability to commit to stuff that I was like, right, I'm going to commit to making a video a day for a year. Jesus Christ, I don't know why I thought I'd do that. It's hilarious actually, because like I decided to do that, and then I realized it took like 8 hours or something to upload a video to YouTube because I hadn't got down with like all the formatting and stuff at that time, and I was like, oh God, what have I done? So anyway, so that night I was like, why can't I exercise? Like I can never commit to exercise. I can do little bits here and there, but I can never do any kind of like stretching or like muscle building with any regularity. I always do it for like so long, and then it's like I'm like I can't do that anymore. Actually, I kind of check out, and it was really frustrating to me. And it was that feeling. I was like, I'm gonna get to the bottom of this, and I really sat with it. And then I had the flashback about my dad abusing me. So this disconnect with my body. So my womb has been like this thing that's there. I know it's awesome. I know it can create life and all that stuff. And I know all this stuff. And I've read about it. But I have never been able to like deeply connect with it and feel that physical connection with my body as a temple. So much of the work I do is energetic because that's where I'm comfortable. You know, like when I had my flashback, I was out of body. I was like up in the corner of the room looking down at my dad doing stuff to me. I wasn't in my body at the time, and that's what I've always done. I've gone out of myself. I've checked out. I go over there. I go off to the stars. That's why my connection with my Pleiadian family has become so strong, because like it's easy for me to be out there, you know. Speaking of which, actually, since watching that Allison Coe video, it's like a portal has opened again between me and my Pleiadian family, because I had not been having much contact from them. I think because I'd lost faith so much, it was like I wasn't fully open to the energies. And now that I've been through that shift, it feels like they're with me again, like all the time. I literally feel like they're standing here with me, or like I'm on the ship right now. So it's like I've got this crew around me, which is really lovely. I love you guys. So anyway, so yeah, so this disconnect with my womb, and I'm like, and I do know that I'm birthing this new world, and the womb is a portal through which we do that. So I did have this insight, like it was just like a flash that came to me like a couple of months ago. It was like, oh my god, my womb is this portal that is connected like all of my past lives. I was like, in all of my lives, there's something here that is like this thread that is always the same. I've always got this energetic center and this ability to create. I don't know if that means I physically always incarnated as women. I think most of the time I have. Almost all of the time I have. Okay. But yeah, I felt it like this timeless part of me that is like where I create life and magic. And it's almost like the same womb has traveled with me through all of my lifetimes. It's like the kind of like sense that I got. So I was starting to tap into it as being this powerful portal. And then, yeah, today in the bath, when I had this revelation of like feeling disconnected from it, I was like, oh my God, it is birthing the new earth. It is. So basically, there's this thing inside my body that energetically is grounding in a new reality, a higher dimension. So do I just be like, oh, you're a pain in the ass, you're bleeding too heavily again and you're causing me pain, and try and brush it to the side and ignore it? Or do I actually honor it as the sacred temple it is and really start connecting with it? And it was like this epiphany. I was like, wow, excuse me. I need to worship this temple inside of me. It was like, I need to honor this. I need to be in service to it. It's like, what do you need? And I need to start honoring it as this like, almost like a stargate inside of myself. Instead of working always with my heart or my crown and third eye and higher up, like what do you need to birth a new earth? What do you need me to do to nourish my body, to honor myself, to help you bring this in as effortlessly and as gracefully as possible? And it's like massive revelation. So I was getting the guidance that came through is that I need to do yoni steaming twice a month, which I have done before. So I'm going to start doing that regularly, doing daily womb massages with myself with like essential oils. And also when I do that, just channeling crystalline light in, and then just doing light work to keep checking in and ensuring that I am keeping my 5D birthing portal clear, high vibrational, and like fully functional and operational at the highest level. Like really checking in with myself every day. Like, what do you need today? Is it like a certain food? Is it an activity? Like, what can I do to be in service to you to help create this new earth? Complete paradigm shift. So I'm really going to start like tuning in with that more. And for the women who are struggling with their menstrual cycles, again, it's like you need to go on your own journey with it. There's probably healing coming up for you, as there was for me with my childhood abuse. So like you need to work through that as well. But there is also like a really beautiful opportunity here for us to reclaim our power. Excuse me, particularly as women, you know, with this incredible ability that we have to create life. So yeah. One other thing I just wanted to mention actually is that this guide Ishtara Rose was saying that like do clearings on the kind of energy of the shedding as well. So because I do think it's both things as well. It's like we do need to take care of all of it. So with light work, you can use violet flame. She suggested using like a spiraling white vortex, like around your pillar of light, to just like draw out and transmute and alchemize the whatever it is that the shedding is, like whether it's like little nanobody type things or like metals or whatever. So I do recommend as a daily practice still doing that, that energy clearing, to make sure that you're kind of like minimizing the effect of that, and also do it on your children if you have children, with consent from their higher selves. If it feels like it's a yes from them, which you can tune into really easily, then you can do it. Or you can almost do it like to them as an extension of yourself, depending on their age and, you know, how under your energy they still are. So that's a couple of things. Another thing, if you are a man and you don't have a physical womb in this lifetime, still doing the whole like honoring your body as a temple thing is really important, because you still have that divine masculine role of protector, space holder, focus. You know, all those like divine masculine attributes are still so needed to birth this new earth. So tune into your own bodies as well and find out what your guidance is for, like, how do you the word I'm looking for, accentuate and like nourish those qualities that are needed for you to play your part in birthing the new earth as well. So it could be like physical strengthening, could be stretching, could be being with the elements in different ways, you know, just like whatever it is that you feel guided to do, there is a calling for you to do that right now as well. So, blimmin' heck, guys. And you know what? It's not even the eclipse yet. Oh my god, this is the days leading up to the eclipse. So, like, I have no idea what's going to happen in the next 48 hours. Like, what kind of, like, revelations I am going to receive, you're going to receive. Hopefully that are happening on a planetary level, but I don't know if we're there yet. But yeah, there's just so much, isn't there? And oh my goodness, just keep doing the good work. It's not easy. It's not easy, but, you know, it's what we're here for. And, you know, we've all got to play our part, and we're here for each other. And just, I'm just sending you so much love. And, you know, let me know how you're doing in the comments below. Let me know how you're getting on. If you've got any questions at all, always feel free to fire them away. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Take care. And I hope you have a beautiful eclipse tomorrow. Okay, bye.